They say every government has its breaking point. But what if Britain's newest leader has already reached his? 15 months after a victory that was supposed to rewrite history, whispers are spreading through Westminster's corridors, whispers of doubt, fear, and collapse. A shadow now looms over Downing Street, cast not by the opposition, but from within the very heart of Labour itself. And tonight, a warning has been delivered. A warning from a voice that cannot be ignored. Lord Neil Kinnock, the man who once led Labour through storms of defeat and hope, has stepped forward, and his message to Sir Keir Starmer is as chilling as it is clear. You have months, not years, to prove that you can save this government, or watch it fall apart. The countdown begins. Before we dive into this unfolding political thriller, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Echo Britain, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Because the more you interact, the more voices we can bring together to uncover the truth behind Britain's most dramatic political moments. Your comment could even shape our next investigation. Now, let's return to Downing Street, where the tension is rising. 15 months ago, Labour was unstoppable. A landslide victory, the end of 14 years of Conservative rule, the country was painted red again. Keir Starmer stood before a cheering crowd, promising renewal, reform, and moral clarity. But something changed. Behind the speeches and the slogans, the numbers began to slip, slowly at first, then faster than anyone expected. Reform UK, once dismissed as a fringe movement, began to rise. And Labour, confident in its new authority, suddenly found itself sliding in the polls. Now, the party that seemed untouchable is trembling. And Keir Starmer's leadership, once solid as steel, is beginning to crack under the weight of growing doubt. Enter Lord Kinnock, the elder statesman, the voice of Labour's conscience. A man who has seen his fair share of political collapses and knows the signs better than anyone. On BBC Radio 4's Westminster Hour, Kinnock didn't hold back. His voice was calm, almost fatherly, but his words cut deep. The reality, he said, is that he has got to act quickly in order to clearly establish a direction and purpose. He paused, as if aware that his message would echo through every Labour office across the country. Now, I know he's got it, Kinnock continued. He's a man of high intelligence and deeply rooted principles. There's no doubt at all about that. But then came the sting. What he's got to do, he said, is demonstrate that he is authentically Labour, with a set of principles that are practical in their application, under determination to put them into full effect. In other words, it's not enough to be smart. It's not enough to mean well. Starmer has to show the people, and his own MPs, that he stands for something real. Something recognisably Labour. Something worth believing in. Because right now, too many are starting to doubt. Kinnock's criticism didn't stop there. He argued that the government has made progressive moves, but no one seems to notice. Why? Because, in his words, those efforts have been obscured by basic errors. The most glaring mistake, the cut to winter fuel payments, a decision that hit pensioners hard and angered millions of voters. A move so unpopular that it drowned out everything else Labour had tried to achieve. Kinnock's voice lowered, but his tone sharpened. Now that has got to be attended to by effective management by the Prime Minister, he said. There's nobody else to do it. Then came the words that have since haunted Labour HQ. What he's got to do in the coming months, and I mean months, not years, is demonstrate that very clearly. Months. That's all Keir Starmer has to prove he can stop the rot. To silence the whispers. To show the nation, and his party, that Labour still has a heartbeat. But Kinnock wasn't finished. He turned his attention to the Prime Minister's inner circle, the people working inside Number 10. I don't know where the focus is of the people who work in No 10, he admitted. I think that they've got to demonstrate sensitivity to the realities of politics. He didn't name names. He didn't have to. Everyone listening knew what he meant. Something, or someone, inside Starmer's operation isn't connecting. The message isn't landing. The strategy isn't working. I've got reservations about the capability of some of the people who appear to be there, he said. I know some of them to be extremely able and effective, and they've demonstrated that historically. But something is not connecting effectively with the Labour Party, or with basic political skills, and I hope it will very rapidly. For a man like Kinnock, respected, experienced, loyal, to say this publicly. It wasn't a casual remark. It was a warning flare. He was telling the country, and Starmer himself, that the problem isn't just policy. It's communication. It's connection. It's leadership. And now, behind closed doors, the murmurs of dissent are growing louder. A Labour leadership contest could be triggered if 20% of MPs nominate a willing challenger. It hasn't happened yet. But the threshold, the mere mention of it, has sent shivers through Westminster. The thought of another Labour civil war, just a year after triumph, seems unthinkable. And yet, history has a way of repeating itself. Kinnock knows it. Starmer knows it. And the party faithful, watching the polls tighten, watching Reform UK climb, can feel it too. The danger isn't just losing power. It's losing identity. Because what is Labour without its soul? And what is Starmer without the trust of his own base? Behind the stern speeches and the polished press conferences, one truth remains. Keir Starmer is standing on a knife's edge. To the public, he's still seen as competent, even trustworthy. But within the party, patience is running thin. Some see him as too cautious, a man afraid to take risks. Others think he's too rigid, too detached from the real world of working-class Britain. And then there are those who still believe in him, who see in Starmer the quiet, methodical strength of a man determined to rebuild Britain's moral core. Even Kinnock, despite his criticism, made that clear. He doesn't doubt Starmer's principles or intelligence. He doubts the execution. Because intelligence without instinct can be fatal in politics. So what happens now? Inside Downing Street, advisors are scrambling. Pollsters are rethinking strategies. And Starmer himself, the former prosecutor turned Prime Minister, faces his toughest case yet. The case for his own survival. The British people are watching, weary from promises, desperate for stability. They don't want more slogans. They want proof. Proof that the man who promised change still believes in it. Proof that Labour's red heart still beats. Proof that the next few months will be about action, not excuses. Because as Lord Kinnock warned, this isn't a question of years. It's a question of months. The countdown has begun. As the lights in Downing Street burn late into the night, one question hangs over the Prime Minister's desk. Can he turn it around, or has the clock already run out? In politics, time is the only currency that truly matters. And for Keir Starmer, that clock is ticking louder every day. No one knows what will happen next. But one thing is certain, Britain's story isn't finished yet. The months ahead will decide not just Starmer's fate, but the very future of Labour itself. How much time is left? That is the question. Don't forget, if you want to keep uncovering the truth behind Britain's shifting political landscape, subscribe to Echo Britain, hit the like button, and tell us in the comments. Has Starmer already lost control, or can he still save Labour before it's too late? We'll feature the best comments in our next episode.